Okay, so hi, I'm Melissa and I'm an extrovert.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm an introvert.
How in the world do introverts and extroverts people when God calls all of us to people?
Is it necessarily super easy for an extrovert to people?
And is it necessarily easy for an introvert to draw away? I don't know. Let's
I don't
dive
know.
in and
Let's
figure it
chat.
out.
Let's chat. Let's do this.
Sounds good. Welcome to the Heart and Soul Elevation Podcast, where Jesus is first, wellness is lived from the inside out, and women find the connection their souls have been craving. We're your hosts, Melissa Holman.
And Stephanie Pazniokis, two women passionate about weaving scripture and science into everyday life so you can live aligned in spirit, mind, and body in that order.
Take a breath.
Settle in.
Let's elevate together. We've realized we are very much alike, but there's one way that we are very, very different.
What kind of gathering lights up your extroversion?
I enjoy intimate gatherings. I do not like being in huge groups anymore, even though I'm an extrovert and I get energy from being around people. It's less about the group experience. And I really don't know what the shift was.
Yeah, I think that there's a distinct difference. I think that large impersonal crowds
Yeah, I don't like it.
that's not, I mean, I imagine yourself at a concert that of someone you love. There's going to be a huge amount of people, and or at a stadium with a game, and
Mhm.
there's a whole bunch of people, and everybody is like, yeah, there's energy there. And so it doesn't necessarily mean draining. And for an extrovert, that can be completely invigorating,
Mhm.
right? It can be completely invigorating, but it is never meant to be a personal space. There is a weird thing where there's an event, a women's event or something with a whole bunch of people, and you're there maybe with a small group of people, but you can't really connect with each other.
Mhm.
Right. And if you're all just sitting down in an audience, it's one thing. But if you're expected to mingle and interact, and now it just becomes sort of like a big, huge gathering where you're supposed to have social interaction, it's very difficult.
It is
Um,
very
pro
difficult.
Probably for
Yeah.
an extrovert or an introvert because it's oh my gosh, my favorite thing, a wedding, a big, huge wedding. I've been to a number of them. I've been in a couple. I was the bride in a couple. It's exhausting for me I am an introvert. To try to make sure I'm hitting on everything. And you can't get in a deep relational, you know, interaction with anybody. And uh, it's so it's
Yeah.
different.
It is.
When
It's
you're in
very
those
different.
smaller, intimate gatherings, like the reception, you get to sit down with someone and you
Mhm.
get to hang out and talk. You have some people over. Um, you're in a place that you go to all the time and you've really gotten to know people, your church or a Bible study group or a small group or the reading circle or the knitting circle at the library, anybody who you get to really get to know them over time. So that all being said, let's talking about introversion versus extroversion and how we're made and how we're made differently. And I love how you and I have so many things in common, even our favorite color for crying out loud. But yet, where we gain energy from interactions is very different. And we have slightly, different strengths because of that.
Mhm.
And, what we do for our downtime. And I love how we discovered this difference. We were just offhand conversation, and you're like, yeah, I did a ride share job just because I wanted to be around people.
Yes.
And you described your cubicle job and how it was, yeah,
Soul
I'll let you do
sucking.
that soul sucking. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, give me a cubicle job. Let me
Yeah.
just have a computer and a keyboard and not
That
people. I'll
and
be
that
so
that
happy.
experience. I mean, like I always kind of figured I was an extrovert because I do feel energized around people, but that experience of working completely isolated from other people, not having interaction I felt my mental health declining. Like I could feel it like being sapped away. And when I
Hmm.
discovered ride sharing, I was like, oh my gosh, I get to just meet people, talk to them for a little bit and let them go. This is going to be awesome. And it was. I had so much fun driving people around. It was such a blast. And I loved like getting the car ready for them and making sure everything looked good. And I don't consider myself a hostess by any stretch of the imagination, but creating an environment where people felt welcomed into my car was really fun. And then just being able to talk to people and learn about their lives and even pray with a couple of them. It was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've embarrassed my kids plenty of times by talking to somebody completely random in some place, and afterward, my oldest, she'd go, "Mom, did you know who they were?" I'm like, "Oh no, I had never seen them before in my life." She's like,
How did
"Oh
you do
my
that?
gosh!"
Yeah.
But again, um, both of us completely able and enjoy having these conversations. But if I do that for too much time, I really need to go into a cave, and
Yeah.
I can easily be in a cave for weeks. That all being said, I think I shared another time where when I was an at-home mom,
Mm-hmm.
uh, isolated by myself, my thoughts spiraling in my head and no community to
Yeah.
bounce off. So even an introvert, we need a community. I mean, I really do
Well,
believe that.
and I feel like COVID really brought the difference between an extrovert and an introvert to life. There were like my most of my family is introverts. My the family I'm married into and my kids. Four introverts, two of us extroverts. The introverts were fine. They were like, cool, I get to stay home and do nothing, or I get to stay home and bake bread. I get to stay home and just, be in veg and not have to worry. And I'm going stir crazy. I started a podcast because I needed to talk to people. Like, that's why I started my first podcast. Is like, I have to talk to people. I'm going crazy. My husband was perfectly happy just sitting at home working on models. And I was not okay. And there were all these memes floating around. I'm sure you remember them. Be sure to check on your extroverted friends because they're not okay during
Yes, yes,
COVID.
yes, yes, yes. I remember that.
And
Yeah.
I just really feel like it was really brought to light the difference between an introvert and an extrovert. For the longest time, we thought introvert just meant you were quiet, you were a wallflower, you just, you didn't interact with people. And extroverts were showmen, right? Where
Yeah, the high
look at me,
I.
look at
Whew.
me, look at me, look over here. I'm the center of attention. But that's not what it is. It's how do I energize? That's the difference.
Yeah.
How do I get energy? Do I
Yeah,
get
and
energy
often
by being alone and you know uh just alone time, spending time, or do I get energy by being around people?
Yeah, and that's the most fundamental. And there are some other traits, introverts tend to be slower thinkers. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't fall into the classic introvert bucket.
Mm-hmm.
There's, of course, there's more nuanced, things, but in the
Right.
very basis of it, people would look at me in the world and say, "There's no way you're an introvert." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I am."
Yeah.
But but I love people and
Right.
I'm willing and loving. I love to spend my energy on people.
And God calls us to that.
He does. In fact, he says in Hebrews 10:24 to 25, let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And who do you
Um,
think is going to be more inclined to not meet together?
the introvert. And
Right.
in fact, uh, my husband and I, right before the big, home cataclysm of 2023, where we were in renovation most of the year and couldn't have people over, and then following that with my grandson being born and then living here, and so we really didn't have a place where we could have people over easily because we had a little baby all of a sudden in the house and a lot of effort going into all of that. We had just before all of that decided we're going to start having people. We're going to be more social, darn it. We're going to do it. He's a software developer. I mean, yeah. So peopling isn't, high on the list.
Yeah.
So we finally, and then all this stuff happened. And now we're finally doing it again. And my big prayer of 2025 was, God, expand my community. Help me really, really, really connect with the people around me, the real people around me, because I had been, I don't even know how to explain it. It just wasn't there. And I just knew there was more. And I know no man is an island, right? We are meant to be with other people. I have experienced what happens in my body and brain when I'm not with other people. And because of so many things that happened, thankfully, God brought us into the church that we're at now, um, which is 10 minutes around. So it's truly people who we could theoretically visit. They're in our
Right.
community, they're not an
Right.
hour away. We weren't commuting to some other community that couldn't be part of our daily lives. And it's, even though we do things through Zoom, or whatnot, we're connecting more. So it was something I just last week I was just so grateful for, looking back and saying, "Wow, look at all these amazing people God blessed me with that aren't just
Hmm.
acquaintances,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really getting to know more of the body of Christ and all the different body parts and what they do and who they are and benefiting from them,
Well, and
you
you've got
know?
me thinking about when I was raising my kids, even though I was isolated like you were, right? We were military, we moved, it was very difficult to make friends just because of our life. But I had my kids. I had I was interacting with my kids. So I still had that connection, that community right there in our home because we had four kids, two preteens, two babies. So I had people to talk to. And now I'm here at this stage of life where I'm caring for my dad and my husband and I'm home, I work from home, but I still have community with them, right? So even though I'm not out in the world, I still have community. And just like you, we found that church close to home. There's people there. I can do life with them. It matters.
It really
And
does.
and Philippians 2:4, I can't just look to my own interests. I need to look to the interests of others, right?
Hmm.
Also look to the interest of others, helping other people on their walk, helping other people build their communities. It's not just about me and what I need as an extrovert,
Right.
right? It's about what
Hmm.
I can give. Ed Sheeran has a song where he says, "People are destined to radiate or drain." As an extrovert, I could be both of those, right? I could be a drain on other people or I can radiate to other people. And as an introvert, you can also radiate or drain,
Exactly.
right? And that goes back to that perspective and intention of what am I going to be in this situation? Am I going to be a
And
drain or a radiator?
And where is your focus? Because if
Mm-hmm.
your focus is on I'm doing this for me,
I'm,
so
I'm
I
going to
can
be a
be
drain.
happy, you're going to be a drain,
I'm going to be a
right?
drain.
When you let yourself go, when you say, when you just let yourself go, this is that's the irony. We've all heard it. That's the irony of becoming happy, is to stop chasing happiness,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's you know the one of the a very effective way to alleviate depression is to care for other people. But
Care
it
for other
isn't
people.
just, you can fake it till you make it to an extent and start just doing it. But if you're doing it so that you alleviate your depression, it's not going to happen because you're focused here. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're focused on just, I want to serve this other person, I see the whole person in front of me for everything they are, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting about myself for a while,
Yeah.
that's where that healing can happen. We are really meant to do that. Um, Another verse comes to mind. It is 1 Corinthians 12, verses 14, through 21, I would say, but really comes to mind because we're thinking we're supposed to people, regardless of how you were made, and you were fearfully and wonderfully made, right? Regardless of how you people, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, and whether it's easy to be around people or not easy to be around people, we're all called to do it. And
Oh,
um,
can I jump in there real quick? Just because I'm an extrovert does not mean it's easy to be around people.
well,
Because
you had
not
mentioned it earlier,
because
right?
not everyone is easy to be around,
Mhm. No,
including
so
me.
not easy to be around people, but get your energy from people. Need to be around people, maybe.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
have a need to be around people.
Yes.
More, we all have the need to be around people, but one really feels it. It's their battery, right? That's how
Mm-hmm.
their batteries recharge. Mine recharges with a really good fiction book. I don't. Um, or just being quiet or thoughtful or whatever it is that I just need that downtime. But but we can't all be one or the other, right? I love this. Indeed, the body does not consist of one member, but many. If the foot would say, because I'm not a hand, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less a part of the body. And if an ear would say, because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less a part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole body were hearing, where would the sense of smell be? But as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them, as He chose. If we were a single member, where would the body be? As it is, there are many members, yet one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I have no need of you, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. So I just love that regardless of how we're made, how we identify, where we get our energy,
Hmm.
we need each other.
Hmm.
We need to be around each other. We need each other, and everybody's important.
I saw a trend on Instagram for church reels, and basically they went around and took pictures of everyone's hands. Someone operating the audio visual, someone on a microphone, someone caring for the children, the pastor with his hand on the Bible preaching, just taking pictures of everyone's hands. And it said, everyone's hands are needed. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Even if all you are doing, quote unquote, is sitting in the pew, you're needed. Your energy is needed in that body. There are
Hmm.
parts of our body we can't see. Physical body, right?
Oh,
I
yes.
can't actually see my stomach or my spleen
I
or
was
my
just going to say
spine
spleen.
or my nervous system. I can't see those things, but without those things, I could not function. And that is how God has designed the body, not just our
Yeah.
physical body, but his body, the church. Every
Yeah.
single one of us is needed. If you are a believer in Christ, you are needed. And it's
Yeah.
just a matter of finding that place where you feel connected, part of the community, and plugging in to where your hands and your feet can be used.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned sitting in the pew. When you're sitting in the pew, your
Mm-hmm.
ears, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to take that in. And guess what? You're going to be somewhere else. You're going to be a mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take that in, and then you are going to share it. You're going to have a relationship with somebody. It's going to change your heart and make you more like Christ. All of those things, right?
Yep.
So
And I'm going to get to be a radiator after I've been a drain, right? I'm going to soak it in and then I'm going to be able to radiate it out.
Mhm. Exactly.
Regardless of how you're designed. Introvert,
Yeah.
extrovert, doesn't matter. We all get
Yeah.
we all get to choose to be a radiator.
Yeah. It is. And a radiator, or a light bulb, whatever you want to call it, just radiant light.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us here on Heart and Soul Elevation. If this conversation lifted you, share it with another woman who needs community.
And be sure to subscribe to the show and click the bell so you never miss an episode. And come back to join us for more faith first conversations where we grow in real time together.
Until then, may the peace of Christ guard your heart, steady your mind, and strengthen your body.